Capricorn, hi. So this is going to be a reading for March 16th through the 22nd. And I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Oh, let's see, Cappy. I have Blue with me today. Well, Kai is sleeping, Cosmo's sleeping, but Blue is here. But he's sleeping right next to my legs, so it's going to be a little uncomfortable for me to move my legs down there. This is the part in which I kind of relax into it and look at things, but okay. I can't. 7 of Cups for the overall energy. I think you're looking into some options here, into some... I see you involved in an energy exchange. So based off of that, I'm kind of seeing you considering your options here about something. Let's see what's going on. In the recent past, the 9 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, the Knight of Swords. Man, I mean, you're showing up with an energy of wanting or having to. Wanting to do something. I see you stopping yourself, though, like holding back there. So I'm not sure if you went through with whatever this is. Definitely a very action-driven type of an energy, but then I see everything in your power to just stop yourself from doing. Or is it, I think it's a little bit of not right now. You know, I'll do this, but not right now. Okay. In the current situation, the 8 of Wands, the High Priestess, the 4 of Cups. Yeah, you're part of an energy exchange here. Now that could be a conversation you're having with someone. I see you upset a little bit about something there, but that's when I see you kind of considering some options here. You're also giving me a sense of it's right that this is happening, this conversation or whatever this is. It feels right, but then, you know, it upsets you. Something about it upsets you. In the immediate future, the 8 of Cups, the Tower, the 5 of Swords. It came to me in Romanian. Shit. How do I translate that? Man. I mean, I could translate it, but you wouldn't understand shit. Because we have quite the metaphorical use of things, of words. But, you look... It's, the thing that came into my mind in Romanian, it's an expression. I'll tell you the words, but then we'll move on because I have to translate that so that you guys can understand. Dust and powder? For Romanians out there, praful și pulbera. Anyways, dust and powder, meaning the dust, when the dust settle, like after major stuff happening, you know, you wait for the dust to settle before you do anything else. So it's kind of like that. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's... Well, first of all, you look emotionally disconnected here. You look like, I don't give a damn, you know? But like, I kind of can see you in an action movie type of a thing where you say, I don't give a shit, and then behind you is like, you know? The thing is, there's deception at the end of that, which makes me believe that you actually do give a shit, you know? So you may say you don't, maybe as to not get hurt by whatever the hell is going on. I don't know what's going on here. It's a mixture of things, but it looks like dust and powder, apparently. Anyways, let's clarify. Let's do the 7 of Cups. For the 7 of Cups, you get the 7 of Wands, the Chariot, the 9 of Cups. What? there's something about this energy exchange where, for the most part, you're giving me a sense of it's good that it's happening. It should be happening. We should have this conversation or whatever this is. There's something unsettling, though, with it in the sense of you're not liking what you're getting out of it, or you're not, something about it is just not, it's just not falling in the right place for you. There's almost an instinctual sense of rejection towards it, like, no, you know. But then you show up again with the sense of, but this is good. This is good that it's happening. And I'm like, what's bothering you here then? You know? Because it does seem productive as an energy in the sense of, yes, it's good that it's happening because it makes you think of options and then you figure shit out, you know? So ultimately, that's what it comes down to. But in the midst of it all, you're a little bothered there. Maybe there's something uncomfortable. Maybe you feel forced to look into those options where you're like, I don't want to look in. I don't know. For the 9 of Wands in the recent past, you get the World card, the Strength, the 2 of Swords. Okay. Okay, that I can understand. So there's a cycle coming to a close and you're quite resistant to it, which kind of complicates things because you know how it is. The more resistant you are to something that's already unfolding, the more it complicates that. You know, so, okay. But based off of that cycle coming to a close, whether you're resistant or not to it, which you are, it involves you starting to move in a direction. And that's where the holdup is. That's why you're not moving right away, because you're resistant to things. Okay, let's do the 2 of Wands. The 8 of Cups, the Moon, the 9 of Pentacles. What's with this attitude of, I don't care, I don't give a shit? Well, you do, you're there. Is that your way of protecting yourself? You know, telling yourself that you don't care about something as to not get hurt by that. I don't know. Because I see you there, underneath it all, you do. There's delays in your movement forward here. And some of it comes from you, from complicating things and rejecting, you know, things as they kind of run along. And then there's a little bit of, I don't care what happens, blah, blah, you know. And it's blah, blah because I see you caring. Let's do the Knight of Swords. You get the 4 of Swords, the Magician, the 10 of Swords. Oh, because it involved having to let go of something. Okay. Well, why didn't you say so? Of course it's going to be tough. Of course you're going to have resistance to that. Okay. So from a healthier perspective, you would look at this as, okay, cycle closed. I let go of that. I move on, move forward. There's healing involved, all of that, which shows up eventually. So I feel like eventually you still got there. You just had to make it hard on yourself there a little bit for a second. Thinking, nah, I don't care. And then, yeah, I see you falling into the energies of moving forward here. From a healthy perspective, too. For the 8 of Wands, you get the Hermit, the Devil, the Page of Wands. Are you testing the ground here? Who's testing the ground? It feels like, you know, I'm going to say this one thing to see what happens, and then I'm going to say another thing to see what happens. You know, to see what reaction I'm getting out of something. But they're not doing it intentionally, whoever this is. I can't tell for sure if it's you or somebody you're having this energy exchange with. I see you there in the midst of it all. You're definitely present there. I can't tell who's kind of testing the ground without meaning to, you know? That's not the intention here, to test the ground, but that's kind of how it comes through. As, let's see, I'll say this, we'll see how you respond to it, and then we'll see if I can say more, you know? It's not necessarily a sneaky or a bad energy, especially because it's not intentional, but I don't know, it feels a little playful, I would say. For the High Priestess, you get the High Priestess again, the 10 of Wands, the King of Pentacles. Why is this so hard? You're giving me a sense of something's difficult, something is hard. It may have to do with your stability, so something around home, work, you know. But you're telling me as much as this is needed, whatever you're part of right now, it's also very, very difficult. Okay. But again, you're super in tune with your intuition, which is telling me something's feeling super, super right about this. But there's a hardship to it too. For the Four of Cups, you get the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, that's why you're upset? Because apparently there is progress here in regards to something that you're involved in. And again, it feels like it has to do with this whole energy of it feels right. But it's kind of a slow progress. It's moving quite slow. You know, steady pace, but fairly slow. You're an earth sign. Why are you upset? Because it's slow. I know you're a little bit of a different breed. Well, you know, let's get shit done. Okay. But you can't speed up the process, and you know that, you know. Okay, you're a little bummed out. Things are moving a little slow. Let's see this dust and powder. That's how I'm gonna name this. See if any Romanians recognize what I mean. For the Eight of Cups in the immediate future, you get the Lovers, the Page of Pentacles, the Two of Wands. I mean, I can see you honestly trying to stay open, trying to make something happen here. And it has to do with the connection too. For the longest time, I see you in this place of being open to this, learning from this, just staying open to this situation in general, to this connection potentially. And then at some point, either you get tired or I think you get into a point of, I'm just not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to be open to it anymore. But I'm not seeing you permanently shutting this down. I'm kind of seeing you shutting it down for now. If it resumes at some point, if you open back up to it at some point, then so be it. I'm not seeing you setting this in stone. You know what I mean? Okay. Let me do the Tower, the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords. Because it's too hard. It's too complicated. There's a partnership that's shown up here, and it comes in with the sense of things are complicated in here. And I think because things have been complicated for a minute here, I think you're tired. You just don't want to deal with it. You know, with the complication of things. At least for right now. You might be giving yourself a break. The thing is, the minute you do... The minute you do take this time off from the situation, I think it just makes things worse for some reason. Something happens based off of you disconnecting from this and saying, nope, not right now. Something is happening. It's agitating the whole energy of this dynamic somehow. So it might create quite a stir here. Let me do the Five of Swords in the immediate future. You get the Seven of Cups, the Five of Swords again, the Emperor. Oh, that's why. Well, you're showing up with the such a conviction of, I'm just moving on. I'm done with this forever and ever and ever. I'm just moving on. As I said, from what I can see here, it's not forever and ever and ever. You may be tired. You may need some time to yourself. I'm not getting it as a full-on energy of, I'm shutting this down, I'm out. But that's how you present it. That's why it's looking deceptive twice. Because that's how you present things here. And, you know, you can present things in whichever way you want. It's your life. It's your... I'm just saying, it creates a little bit of a crazy energy here for this situation. I don't even know what the situation is. I do see a bond you have with someone. I do see a partnership. And I'm thinking things are not being very honest over there. You know, starting from you to you, being honest with yourself about it. And then whatever the hell is going on outside of you within this dynamic at this moment in time. So things are not very out in the open here. And for some reason, it creates quite the ripple effect. It creates quite the crazy energies there. This is not, I mean, it's kind of left up in the air, so it's not, well, no, as far as you're concerned, you're done with this. As far as the energies are concerned, no, this is left up in the air. Let me see what the universe has as a final advice for you. The Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Temperance card. You're kind of like la-di-da. I'm just minding my life. I'm just, concerned with myself. It's kind of like you're oblivious to all of this. I see you looking in the mirror. Am I good today? Yeah, okay. No, you have been focusing on yourself for quite a minute here. And a lot of what's going on from an energetic standpoint is not yet showing up for you. And that's why it almost makes it look like you're unaware. You don't know what the fuck is going on here, And again, it's energy that's playing out in the background. It's going to come, front stage at some point into the physical. Most of... some of the present is there. But the dust and the powder stuff is yet to come, so it's like you don't necessarily see it coming. So you're fine, you're good. You are focusing on yourself a lot, so we'll see what comes out of it. This chapter, to me, the immediate future is not closed off. To you it is, to me it's not, but we'll see. But anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye.